So, welcome to episode 1 of the Stowgay Society podcast.
Don't say it like that.
A little bit of technical difficulties there. But hey, we're here. My name's Matt with Sober Cigars. Welcome to tonight's episode. We have a very special VIP guest, Cigar Carpenter Mike. We'll get to an official introduction for him in a minute. Let's just real quick go around and introduce ourselves and show what we're smoking. We'll end with me, and then we'll have introduce Mike and get rolling. So, Frank, why don't you go first?
Well, my name is Frank from Texas Cigar Society, and I'm smoking the Martinique in Lancero.
Nice. Randall.
Oh, Randall with Cigar Scope, and I'm smoking the CAO Flathead 660 tonight.
Dang. All right. We'll skip over Mike for right now. Hugo, what do you got going on?
Hey, what's
What are
up?
you smoking?
Hugo from Hugo Smokes, and I want Mike to pick my cigar.
What do you
I have
got?
I have a couple Cadwells. I have that pepper cream soda I talked to you about.
Peter
And
liked
then-
that one.
This is a white and black band,
Yep, that's the San Andreas.
and then I have this one. I think this is the last SAR.
So that one's
Is it?
kind of interesting. Yeah, it's got like a hybrid Brazilian Arapiraca wrapper on it. And like it's got a kind of funky bitterness to it that sometimes plays nice and sometimes does not. So could be a good or a bad time on that one.
Okay.
What do you do with that one, Hugo?
And then I have this one, which is the Long Live the King and the little baseball bat.
Yeah, that one was all right. That's at 11-18 size, I think, right?
1107.
Or 11. It's the 11-18 size though. The 1107 is it's Caldwell and I think his wife's birthday.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Which should I light up?
Go with that pepper cream soda because I haven't had it and I know Peter liked it and he's a Caldwell hater, so it should be
Should
pretty
be decent.
good.
All right. Peter's hit or miss sometimes, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh
guy.
my god.
DC, who
What's
are
up?
you and what you got? Who are you and what
My
you
name
got?
is DC from Sips and Six, and today I will be smoking the Cavalier Genevieve Black 2, the limited release.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice. And of course, like I said, I'm Matt with Sober Cigars, and I'm smoking a Don Carlos tonight. So the wrapper's already a little messed up, so we'll see how this thing goes, but whatever. And Mike, you want to say who you are and right out the gate, just let people know where they can find you on social media and what you're smoking.
All right. Well, I'm Cigar Carpenter Mike. I also have a Don Carlos. I have it in the Presidente 6.5 by 50 size. And I have as my backup cigar the same cigar as DC.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how long we're doing this for and how long this will last. But you can find me on Instagram at Cigar Carpenter. I used to do a ton of written reviews on that. There's like 300-400 of them on there. You got to scroll back a ways. Now I just kind of post my YouTube links on that because I switched over to reviewing on YouTube because it's actually easier than written reviews on Instagram and people actually watch them. Whereas on Instagram, they just click like on the picture and scroll along.
Should I be
That's
worried?
true.
Can I tell you something, Mike?
That- What's up?
Whenever I hear you talk, I just think boom, your theme music you
Yeah.
chose. It's good, man.
Yeah.
Works. You choose one and you be done with it.
Right?
It's just easier.
And what's funny is Roger actually picked that song. There was a couple of songs and I was like, which one? And he's like, that one's more of a vibe. And I'm like, all right. But speaking of Roger has done a ton of work getting together our Thursday night live stream Cigars Unbanded. That's Thursdays at 8:15 Central. If you haven't seen it, Roger works very hard on that every week, getting the cigars figured out, setting up the StreamYard, all that shit. It's a good time. We smoke unbanded cigars and we try and guess what they are.
And Roger's just out there doing God's work with this Unbanded show you guys are a part of, you know. And we're going to get more into that as the show progresses, because we want to dive into all that, Roger's creation and everything. It's going to be a great time.
Thank you, Roger.
So Mike, I do want to rewind a little bit. I don't know. If you have, I haven't seen it. I don't know that I've seen a show where you have kind of done an interview and talked about your progression through cigars and all that. So I figured we would kind of do that. So let's start at the very beginning. When were you born? What's your social security number and last 4 digits of your cell phone?
All right. So I was born on
So
That was a good one.
we should probably fast forward a little bit. Talk to us about, when did you first start smoking cigars and what got you to say, hey, I want to go and try a cigar? Like what originally got you into cigars?
All right. Well, the first real cigar I smoked that wasn't wrap stuffed with something else that I can recall is when I had my first kid, Gorilla Man. A friend of mine brought over, I don't know exactly which one it was, but it was one of the Gurkhas in the glass tube with the wax on it, right? And I don't remember it being horrific, but I'm sure we were drunk and doing other stuff, and we wouldn't have been able to tell anyway, right? But when I got into cigars, like actually got into them, I was hanging out with my now wife at a graduation party for one of her friends' kids, and all the old guys were like sitting around this patio table and smoking cigars, and I was just sitting there ripping cigs, and I was like, wow, that looks like a lot better than what this is. And so I went up to, the local shop, Tobacco Grove here, and I just kind of said, hey, I don't know shit, give me a good starter cigar or whatever. And they pointed me at the same one most people go to, the Perdomo 10th anniversary. They're like, it's not like smoking air, but it's not too aggressive. And tried that, and then it was off to the races, man. Just
Nice.
trying all the shit. And then you've been to Tobacco Grove, Matt. I mean, the selection in there, I think it's the biggest humidor in the tri-state area, basically. So I'd just go in there, and like once I found out I really liked cigars, I'd just pick a brand that like jumped out to me, and then like grab one of everything, and then just try it.
See, and that's cool. And Tobacco Grove. So when I first was getting into them, I was just going to like the smoke shop here, where the dude was like, I don't know, I just smoke cigarettes, I don't know anything to tell you. Whereas Tobacco Grove, I mean, everybody in there is super helpful. So that's cool that you started off going up to Tobacco Grove, because those guys know what they're doing, and it's a great shop. And I think you're right. I think it's the biggest humidor in Minnesota. So
Yeah, for sure.
So when you started smoking, was it like, oh man, this is really cool, let me just deep dive? Did you deep dive into it right away with wanting to learn about it? And
I don't half-ass anything. There seems to be a lot of cigar smokers in the sober community. I've been sober coming up on like 6 years now in March, right? And these guys that I was at the function of, it was a bunch of sober old dudes, and they were really into Cubans and shit. So AZ will love that. And I started watching all the videos that everybody watches. Like, I think at that time, Jono's was still kind of shooting the videos in his backyard with no backdrop and bad audio and lighting and stuff. And I don't know that it was in his infancy, but it was the same thing with Tim from Cigars Daily. He was shooting it on his back porch, and then Cigar Obsession was still on YouTube, and that guy was like the top for a long time. I just started watching all of that stuff and learning what I could from that. And as you watch stuff, you figure out which guys are selling you stuff and which guys are just nerds smoking cigars, and I gravitated towards that stuff. And you know, I think at some point you run into Cigar Hound Dog pretty quickly and start watching his stuff, find out about the new wave. And that's where all me and all of the Unbanded guys met in the new wave chats, just shooting the shit. You'd know, like, every Friday or Saturday, whenever they were doing it then, those dudes would be in the chats. So that's how I met
Gotcha.
those boys.
Gotcha. That's cool. You know, what's funny is I watched a Joe Knows video. I was just searching for reviews the other day, and I forget on what, but I ran across one of his, and it was one of the old ones, one of his first ones. They're just, and it was great. I loved it.
Hell yeah.
But
great
so
videos.
when you started smoking, I've been curious.
You muted yourself, I think.
That's a cool trick.
I know. He went Japanese on us.
Now Ugo's
There
going
we
to finish
go.
the question. There we go.
I was trying to read his lips.
Yeah. Hang on. So, Mike, I got to adjust some stuff, but can you take us through what you were smoking and how your palate's changed?
Yeah, I started out with like that Perdomo tent was the first cigar I had, right? And then I tried some lighter stuff, but at that point I was smoking like a pack of cigarettes a day, easy, right? So my palate was just dead. So I went right into the Nicaraguans, like the bold Nicaraguans, the broadleaf cigars, shit like that. And I loved that because I could taste that stuff. And I'd smoke lighter stuff and I'd think it tastes like, you know, a paper bag. And over time, eventually, I just kept trying more and more stuff because, like I said I was doing, I was going into the shop, grabbing one of everything from each of the lines, and you eventually just run out of like the darkest, pepperiest, earthiest shit, and you start smoking other things. And so there's cigars I've revisited. Like last night, I just tried the Diamond Crown Natural again, and I haven't had that thing in like 5 years. And I thought it was boring as hell 5 years ago. And last night, it was amazing. I loved that cigar. And I think part of progressing through the different flavor profiles, like I still enjoy a bold cigar sometimes, but I picked up one of those like Cigars Daily like notebooks where you log your shit and you score it and whatnot. And I actually only started doing Instagram because you couldn't really write enough on those pages. And Instagram started as me just logging the stuff for myself. And then eventually people started following and commenting. And I'm like, oh, people actually want to read this stuff, you know?
For sure.
And then
Dude,
eventually...
we had the same first one.
I think
Oh, yeah?
the majority of us that
Yeah.
had the first one.
We had the same
Well,
first
it's
cigar.
It's a good suggestion because it's mild, but it's not paper bag mild. Like I reviewed that on my YouTube channel because there was discussion in the Discord or whatever about people hating it or not. I think Innocent hates it. And somebody else said, hey, it's all right. I was like, fuck it, I'll go grab another one. It's okay. It's not like a great cigar.
It's a safe first cigar. I mean, I think it's really good, but it's definitely a good first cigar.
Now,
Yeah.
would you recommend it to someone just starting now? Like now knowing what you know about like different flavor profiles, would you suggest it as a starter cigar?
I think like a regular Mil Diaz, like a Mil Diaz Habano, would be a lot nicer, especially if you have one that's got a little age on it, because then there's like no spice on it, and that's another mild cigar or milder cigar, but there's more depth of flavor to it than say Perdomo 10th. But like, not that a new smoker is necessarily going to pick that up, but the general notes of it they could pick up, unless they're like heavy cigarette smokers. I mean, you got to do the classic thing that they ask you in a shop where it's like, hey, do you drink coffee? What do you put in your coffee? That type of shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And I'm back. I had to get my other headsets going. What do you do?
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Amateur hour.
Mike, what would you suggest to somebody who says, I don't drink coffee, I don't like coffee? What
Start
cigar
asking
would
them
you
what
suggest?
kind of start asking them what kind of foods they like to eat. I mean, you got to get a general idea as to
A
like
baseline.
yeah, like if they're
Yeah.
living in North Dakota and all they eat is like steak and potatoes, well then you're gonna want to give them some pretty basic shit. If black pepper is spicy to them, you're not gonna want to hit them with something with a lot of kick, right?
It's true.
And you can
Yeah.
go with like if you were gonna stay within like the Perdomo line, I mean like the Lot 23 Maduro has like basically no spice. It's nice and sweet. So if somebody wants like a bolder flavor but doesn't want spice, that's a good one to go to. Otherwise, like Connecticut wise, see the Hoyo de Nicaragua Antonio CT. It's a pretty good cigar. It's pretty affordable too. It's like $8-9 or something, but it's not going to blast anybody.
Yeah. I think Perdomo's a great for beginners.
They're really
know.
good, and I don't reach for them too often for some reason.
They're gonna have great
And-
draw, you know. It's
Yeah.
consistent.
I think
Keith
I
is like,
remember
"Don't start."
Mike talking about not being a beginner cigar, and I kind of agree with him after smoking a few. Me being like the newest one here, I think getting the Perdomo might not be the right move because then they're just almost set up for failure because they're not going to get everything you would get out of like a medium smoked cigar, right? You don't get all those flavors that you would in a Perdomo wouldn't give you all those flavors.
I don't know. Perdomo is one of the first premium brands I really got into.
When my first Perdomo, I didn't retrohale, and I think that's a disservice. I think you have to retrohale. Personally, I retrohale almost every puff now, but when I first started, yeah, I could see it being kind of flat, probably.
We have
I
a question
enjoyed
from
it.
AZ. Why do you guys hate
Why?
Perdomos? He says. I mean,
Fuente.
Sorry.
Does
Look at this
anybody here
pendulum
actually
shift.
hate Fuente?
No.
No,
I don't.
it's good.
I think they can be overhyped sometimes.
Oh
I
yeah, for
enjoy.
sure.
You know, I think the Opus X's, I've enjoyed a lot of them, but a lot of them I think get so overhyped, and then you see the prices on the secondary market that people are paying. I'm just like, nah, I get them at MSRP or a few bucks over to be able to try them. But
Yeah.
I do think they can get very overhyped. But like this Don Carlos was, and I got the same one, Mike, the Presidente, and I think it was $13.
Something near it, yeah.
You know, so like for the price and what I get out of them, you know, I don't mind them. I just won't pay the crazy, you know. I saw some Dubai's going for like almost $100 with their MSRP in for what, like 40, 45, 43, something like that.
Yeah.
Just get
and
a
I
curly
had-
head Candela.
I had this discussion. I think we were sitting in the Cigars Unbanded Discord the other night, and I just was saying, my camera's doing the thing. I got to unplug it and plug it back in. But I was saying with those wild prices they have on a lot of these opuses and stuff, like, or any rarer cigar for that matter, I just wait. I got enough cigars to smoke. I don't need to be buying this shit for double MSRP. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
By the way, this pepper cream soda is pretty good. It's pretty chocolatey
Is
to
it?
start off. Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
I haven't
gotta
had
find
that one.
of those fuckers.
It's I believe the guy that sent it to me said it was the first release whenever that was 2016, 2014.
Sure.
So
Also, it's got some age to it.
this
Oh, nice.
Got a nice burn to it.
Oh, I wanted to go off topic real quick and ask Frank, is that your first Martinique? And what do you think? I love the Martinique.
So it's picking up now. The initial, it had like no flavor, but now like the retrohale is definitely picking up some good flavor notes. Again, I'm just kind of like smoking it to kind of get used to it. Then I have another one for the review. But this is actually really good. Like I like it, and it's burning fucking amazing.
hell yeah.
It's got great draw, and I've had bad luck with Lanceros as of late. So I'm just enjoying it. Like I'm listening to the conversation and enjoying the
Great
shit out of the
cigar.
cigar. Yeah.
It's a great cigar. man.
Sounds good. Anyways, more importantly, your sister's in the chat. So, Mel, welcome.
Hey,
Thank
Mel.
you.
What's up, Mel? Hey, Mel.
The guest,
Mike, do
Nick,
you-
overhyped as much as Gurkhas. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Hugo. What were you going to ask?
Oh, I was gonna ask, Mike, do you smoke more cigars on camera or off camera? Because you have an impressive amount of reviews on your YouTube channel / Instagram.
I mean, if I'm smoking a cigar I haven't smoked before, I smoke it on camera. Because this area always stays set up. I just decided to not park my car in the garage anymore. I've got like a 50-inch TV mounted on the wall right here, so I can just sit here and watch stuff. I got my camera is just my phone, right? So I just stick it on a tripod that I leave set up, and so it's so easy to shoot a review, especially like you guys have seen my videos. I don't do a whole lot of editing. I just smash that shit together, put the same track over it every time.
Boom.
And yeah, so it's not even really work to do it. If I'm smoking a cigar for a second time, then I sit out and I enjoy it or whatever. I have plenty of cigars that like all hop on the Discord and like sit on my deck. Like guys will make fun of me on the Discord because I got those like zero gravity chairs that you can basically lay down, and I'll just have my laptop on a chair next to me and it looks like I'm falling asleep, but I'm just looking up at the sky, you know. It's relaxing.
Dude, those things are great.
Hell yeah, dude. And like that's what cigars are all about for me, other than like reviewing them. Like it's just some time to myself, and I can choose to be online with somebody. And I almost prefer chilling in a Discord smoking cigars than going to a lounge and meeting somebody there, because like if you're just done with it, you can just Irish goodbye if you want to and nobody gives a shit. They're just like, he's done. You just walk right into your house and then you're done. Because I basically get my fill of in real life people by the time I'm done with my workday. I don't need in-person interaction with anybody but my family once I'm done with work. I don't know what it is.
I'm going to keep that in mind if we all get together and go to the lounge. If all of a sudden Mike's like, man, I got to go to the bathroom, and then you haven't seen him in a little bit, it's, where'd Mike go?
Dude, Mike's just gonna walk off, dude. He's not even gonna tell you he's gonna go to the restroom.
Yeah.
The in-person Irish goodbye.
Just get up and start walking out like, what?
Dude, I'll tell you, it's really smart to keep that same music track through your videos, though, because you find one that vibes with how you speak, and you just keep that shit, and it saves so much on editing time. Like, it's ridiculous. I used to go through, like, what song for this video? And it's like, I was like, oh, I'm just find one that works.
Mm-hmm.
The one theme song I missed was Hugo's theme song. It was like a disco, dun, 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 and all of a sudden now it's like, meh.
Are you talking about the intro music he had?
Yes, dude, I liked it. It was like
Hell yeah.
upbeat, and then all of a sudden, yeah. And all of a sudden, it's like now I'm like, yeah, but it's missing something.
But I like Hugo's like chill background music too, though.
Oh shit, you got it down, bro.
That is
And
perfect right
that chill background too, like the natural like road behind them and everything.
The horses just
bring the horses back. Bring the horses back. Take that fucking sheet down. Nobody wants to see the sheet. We want to see the horses.
I thought you were drying that thing, man.
I love it. So, Mike, let's get back to how the things progressed. At what point did you say, you know what? I'm going to start doing stuff on Instagram. I'm going to start posting. I'm going to start doing write-ups. At what point did you decide to get into the social media world with sharing your cigar stuff?
So I was on like Facebook groups, like just poking around for a while, pretty much immediately, right? And I would like do the thing that everybody does where you just kind of post a picture, like, I'm smoking this tonight or whatever. Then, like I said, I was writing in that like Cigars Daily review book for a while. And I basically ran out of room on that. And that's when I said, fuck it. I'm going to take all the pictures of my kids off of my Instagram and just have it be cigars. Like my Facebook, my real name on Facebook is the only account that I share pictures of my kids and stuff, because nobody needs to know what Gorilla Man really looks like. You know,
Nope.
it's I don't agree
For
with
legal
doing that
reasons,
on a,
we shouldn't know what Gorilla Man looks like.
right. But so I started posting on Instagram, and then my reviews just kept getting more detailed and more detailed, and it was fun, you know, and chatting with people in the new wave live streams and stuff. You get to know other people and whatever the hell. And eventually, what was it? There was Cigars Unbanded started up January of last year, right? And drop a thumbs up. This is my thumbs up, Hugo. I want to see it again. Cigars Unbanded started in like January of last year, right? And I wasn't initially on Cigars Unbanded. Roger piloted the thing, got it all set up. He invited Peter to get on it with him and Felipe. And the three of them started doing it. Roger would buy cigars, he would unband them all, and then he would send them out to those two, right? And I just started watching that because I was already buddies with them guys. And I kept guessing the cigar. And it was just because it was like weird sizes, right? And Roger has gotten hip to that, and he started picking mostly Toros instead of funny sizes. Like one of them was when they smoked the Opus, the Perfection number 5 or whatever. They were like Dominican Puro, and it was 6 1/4 by whatever the hell. And I was like, oh, that's an Opus X and stuff like that. Feared getting an epilepsy attack. But I kept guessing it, and it got to the point where Roger reached out, and he's like, dude, you can't guess until the 1 hour mark. Like, stop it. And he kept inviting me to be a guest on it. And at some point between when Unbanded started and when I started being a guest on it, they kept poking me. They're like, do a YouTube. So I've taken the video down, but my first YouTube video was, how you liking it, DC?
I'm actually loving this thing. It's really good.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
My first YouTube video was just, I put my phone up with the front facing camera in front of my laptop and like just did an overview. Like I had already smoked the cigar and I just said whatever, right? But then I was like, well, fuck it. If I'm going to do this, I'll try. And it just kept going. Once I figured out the editing program, Roger helped me out with that. I was like, dude, what do you use? And
Roger
he
helped
said,
you out with something? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
He's like, I use CapCut, dude. It's super easy. I'm like, fuck yeah. But eventually, after being a guest enough times on Unbanded, there was like one Thursday at work, Peter's like, what do you think of the new thumbnail? And it had my name on it. So I was, what did AZ said, it seems like you were recruited against your will. Yeah. The new thumbnail had my name on it and then like my YouTube link or whatever. And I was like, oh, is this for when I'm a guest host? And Peter's like, well, we kind of want to add you to the show. You're either in the chat or on the show all the time anyway. You're available, right? I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. So it's been fun.
And so here you are.
Yeah.
Dude, you got
It's a
put
good
on
time.
like a skateboarder would, like just randomly you have a deck. You know what I mean? I was a skateboarder growing up, so like it's like they just surprised you with like a. That's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool.
Hell yeah, dude. What boards did you like? I used to skate too.
Oh,
now I'm too
girl.
old and I'll break my shit.
Oh, me too, dude. I can't. I my work is like 2-minute walk to a skate park, and I'm like, it's such a great skate park, but I'm too old. Girl and Zero and all those, like the classics. I was skating when like Yeah Right was coming out and all that stuff, 2003 to like 2014, 15.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I have at first? I would use Element decks for a long time, right? And then 1 year my grandma she saw me fucking around. I built like a box it was only like 6 inches tall. It had angle iron on one side, and it was like a 3 foot by 8 foot box that I dragged to the side of my parents' house, right? And my grandma saw me skateboarding on that thing, and she's like, "Are there different size skateboards?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What size is the one you have?" And I can't remember the exact dimensions, but I told her it at the time. And then like the upcoming Christmas, she had got me like an ATM, right? And I can't remember what brand ATM used, like the blanks, because a lot of the blanks are the same, right?
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
were like affordable, and they had kind of cool like metal looking graphics on them and shit, kind of similar to Zero or whatever. And I skated that thing for a long time until my buddy's mom ran it over because we left it in the driveway. I left it in the driveway. She backed out over it. She felt terrible. My buddy Jay's mom was a wonderful lady. So she's like, "I'm going to get Mike a new deck." And so my buddy goes with her, and they get me a ATM board. But, you know, being teenagers, he's like, "Let's get him the pastel pink one," right? And so he did, and I still have it because like I haven't done any real skateboarding since I was, you know, in high school. So I still got that pastel pink ATM board, and Gorilla Man will ride it sometimes. It's cool. I've
Nice.
switched the bearings out in it though, because the bearings are just dog shit, you know, 20 years later.
Oh yeah.
We have
Nice.
They,
2 questions for you. You can probably do them in one shot. What's it like being an influencer, and how has fame changed your life?
I'm not an influencer, and I'm not famous. Any more questions?
he's the influencer's influencer. While we're all saying it's kind of like wet earth, he's like, there's a vegetal note, definitely. Like, oh, let me look up what vegetal means.
So
gonna
I
say-
posted
I'm
a
gonna-
picture. JD's giving me shit. Me and my wife do this thing. Y'all got Aldi's around you? The Aldi,
Yeah, I
the
got-
cheap supermarket?
Yeah, I got one up the street.
Every holiday season, they do a prime rib sale where it's like cheaper than ground beef damn near. And they let you get one per family per day during that season. And so if you go to all the Aldi's in your area, you can fill up a chest freezer with enough prime rib for a year on like ground beef prices. So I'm not rich, I'm cheap, and I take advantage of opportunities. Fuck you, JD.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So, Mike, with being on Unbanded, well, first of all,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about how that experience is with smoking a cigar unbanded. But first, Cigars Unbanded is now, it's not just you and the guys. It's not just Roger and the people he's brought together. It's now everybody, well, not everybody because there's limited packs, but now people in the chat, all of us can also purchase those same cigars and smoke along with you guys and try to guess and all that, which makes it really exciting. So can you talk about where people can get those, and what we'll have you mention that at the end too, but real quick, where can people get those at?
With YouTube safe terms, it started out with, like I said before, Roger sending unbanded cigars to all the guys, right? And after a while, Greg at Tip Top reached out. I think Greg reached out to Roger and said, "Hey man, I'd like to figure something out and get it so your viewers can smoke along with you." And so Peter's trying to modify Roger's show.
I'm available Thursdays.
So we worked with Tip Top to get the unbanded pack sorted out. It's a monthly subscription type thing. And I think we started with maybe 40 packs, and then it jumped up 10 packs every month that you could sign up for this subscription. And it's kind of the same as every other subscription pack in that you're always getting more than you're paying for, right? Whether you like the cigar or not, we'll see, right? We've had some cigars that MSRP'd for like 55 or 60 bucks, and it got like an overall C rating, which is like meh, nothing special. And then we've had like $16 cigars that got A tiers, and people just loved them. So we grew with Greg, and thank you very much, Greg, at Tip Top for getting us started on that and going. I think this February pack, we were maybe up to 80 packs, I think. And at some point within the last month or two, Greg at Tip Top he wasn't sure if it was really working out for him the way he wanted it to. He started that discussion in the Cigars Unbanded Discord. And so Roger started reaching out to a couple other shops that maybe would be interested in doing it. And starting next month, we are partnering with, I want to say Maximar. Small Batch.
Small batch.
Small batch.
Yeah, Maximar's their
Small
brick and
Batch.
mortar. We're partnering with Small Batch moving forward. So starting in March, you can get them through Small Batch. I'm assuming we'll post more details when that comes. But this is our last month with Tip Top, and we're moving on to Maximar. And I think it's a mutually beneficial move. Small Batch is excited to partner with the show because it's a good time, and they have a great selection, and they're already working together to curate, I think, 6 months worth of packs. I think they already have figured out. So
Nice. I love small batch,
yeah, dude.
and not just because they have the Barba Amarilla, one of my favorites.
Yeah, dude, that's a solid cigar.
And it's
I like
It's
that
great.
one a lot.
It's great. But yeah, okay, cool. So how has it been? And really, this is, well, actually, I don't know. Well, DC, you had the packs. So Mike and DC, I guess, how has it been, that experience of smoking a cigar, you don't know what the hell it is, and just going for it? Because I think it's been kind of a trip. Because Mike, like you said, we've had some cigars that aren't cheap dates, and it's been like, what? This is garbage. And then we've had some for $16 that it's like, sign me up for 3 boxes.
Yep.
So how has it been
Right.
for you, Mike?
Dude, I think it's so. At first, I would kind of look at them and try and figure it out. And if it's anything other than a Toro, you can kind of figure it out. So I stopped doing that. Now I only look at them to take the picture, to post on the Instagram story, and then I put it away because it's more fun for me to try and guess it as I'm smoking it based on like the flavor and just general what's its fuck. And like you said, like, and I said earlier, sometimes when one of those ones that end up being really expensive sucks, I'm super grateful for the sampler because the packs were $75, right? And so if a cigar in it was MSRP'd for like $60 and it sucked, well, you've already got most of your value out of the pack, and you didn't have to spend that $60 on that cigar, and now you know. Like that, it was a Xeno Platinum that we had.
Oh,
Just a paper bag, dude. It was garbage. And that was like $64. Like, imagine how sad you would be if you paid $64 for that in a shop. You brought it home. You're like, this has got to be good. Then you were just sad for like 2 hours because it was a big cigar.
I just stopped smoking cigars. Just done.
Has there ever been a cigar that you really liked, and then you had it on the unbanded, and you're like, it was okay. It wasn't that great.
I'd say more often, I've had ones that I didn't really enjoy. And one I could specifically think of is the Crowned Heads Las Calaveras 2024. I had it in there. It might have been like a 6x48 or something, because I got the 4-cigar sampler that has a little like torpedo in it, right?
Yep.
And I tried that. I think me and Peter both smoked it together on the Discord, and we're like, this is nothing special. And then when we had the Toro on Cigars Unbanded, I think that thing got like a B tier or an A tier, something higher than we ever would have rated it before. And I don't know if that was a size difference. I don't know if that was the amount of time it had been able to rest, right? Because cigar companies really love to put out special editions and have them not in any way ready for the market. When they release them, they're just like, fuck it, we got a deadline. Here's your not ready shit.
And let's paint them.
Yeah, let's paint them. Yep, that's
Hey, Mike,
a classic.
we got another question from AZ for you. See if you can help us out if this is going to be coming in one of the packs.
You know, I think there's some
Ooh.
legality issues with the United States in that, but I would love to. I think that would be really cool, but currently
That
that's
would
not
be.
really a possibility.
Hey,
How's
you guys could disguise it in the foil like that unicorn company does.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That'd be pretty sick.
There you go.
Gold foil.
DC, when you were getting the packs, what did you think about smoking the unbanded cigars? Because I think it's a wild experience.
Honestly,
What did you think?
I enjoyed it, man. I mean, you guys know me. I'll keep saying it. Being the new guy with smoking and like going a little deeper than just smoking a cigar, going for a walk, actually figuring these things out, like figuring out my palate. Not only that, but like actually being able to get my hands on some of these other cigars that I probably didn't think I would ever want to go buy on their own because of the price point. It was kind of cool. I mean, I think I've said it a couple times in there. It's like, holy crap, I just smoked the $50, $60 cigar. Now I'm buying the $100 cigars. But like before, I was like, I would have never paid for that. But like being able to experience it. And then like Mike said, some of these more expensive ones that are supposed to be premium ones turned out to be duds. It's been cool. I've loved the experience so far. It's been great.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been it's fun. And Mike, it looks like has Roger's show here, Unbanded, has it really kind of skyrocketed since really opening it up to having the packs where everybody else can?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's been huge, and I
Cigar
can't
check,
thank
guys,
Greg and
cigar
Tip
check.
Top enough for making that a possibility, right? It has opened up a lot, and just kind of touching on a little bit of what DC said, with newer smokers, I've heard feedback from newer smokers that are like, hey, I'm not really big on getting tasting notes, and smoking along with us on the show, they've been able to be smoking something, being like, what am I tasting? And then we, people in the comments will say what they're tasting, and us on the panel will say what we're tasting. And people will be like, holy shit, that is what I'm tasting. And it helps people get a little bit better at identifying flavor notes, which is,
Now,
that's
do,
cool.
do you look at reviews when you're ever you about to smoke a cigar that people have reviewed? Do you ever go into it and see, hey, this person got this note, and try to look for that note in particular, or do you kind of like what I do is I'll see a review, and but when I smoke a cigar, I'll forget everything. Like I forget everything in general because I'm getting old, right? But like I don't take that into smoking a cigar. Do you?
I try not to look up other people's reviews. Like, obviously, if I'm smoking a cigar that's been out for years, I've probably seen a review of it, right? But I will actively try not to see reviews of ones I know I'm going to be smoking soon, right? Like the things I have in my dry box say Hugo. Other than if I'm able to catch a premiere, I like to hop into those and listen to them at work. And sometimes it keeps happening. I'll hop in and I'll say like, Hugo, and then I'll put the phone in my pocket with my earbud and listen to the review, right? I'm a foreman at my job, and guys keep calling me in the reviews. Like I was watching Hound Dog's review today, and my right-hand man calls me right as he's about to give his ranking. He's like, I'm going to rank this one, and then it's, brrr. I'm like, son of a bitch. So that's the exception. Like if any one of you guys is putting out a review on a cigar that I'm about to smoke and I'm able to catch the premiere, I'll catch the premiere and try and forget about it when I smoke it. Because it taints your opinion of the cigar. Mm-hmm. And I think if you watch somebody else's review and you have a flavor note in your head that you then think about while you're smoking the cigar, you're just going to parrot what they said. Whereas if you were smoking it without having watched a review freshly, you might come up with a different flavor note that some other third person not in this conversation, right, would have picked up and been able to relate to more than the one that you've all just kind of funneled into by watching each other's shit. Because everybody's palate's different. It might be something semi-similar, right? Like somebody might say there's a little bit of like a citrusy note on something, and they might also say that there's a bready note, but then like somebody else might be smoking something and in their head, the sourness and the breadiness combines into sourdough,
Yeah.
right? Stuff like that.
That's true.
Makes sense.
But then it also opens up like maybe there's a note that you're getting and you're pondering of it, and then you see somebody else's review like, oh wait, it could be that. Sometimes it helps.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Are you wearing gloves with no fingertips, Ugo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cut off fingers. Yeah.
All right, Madonna over here. Go for
Bro, it's like 65 there. Of course.
Yeah, it's fucking cold, bro.
it. Dude, it's like
Cold.
60 here and I'm sweating.
Dude, it's
50.
49 here. I could take off my jacket and put up my sleeves and not have a heater.
What do we got? We got 33. It's pretty.
73.
Yeah.
Summertime, huh?
No, 33.
33.
33. I was about to say, good God. 73.
73 would be wild. There would be something concerningly wrong.
Dude,
We're
the
73.
Yeah.
jet stream would be like
in
this.
January.
If you, yeah, that's weird.
It's called global warming.
I love it. So, Mike, when you first started doing, and I'm assuming the answer is no, I didn't. When you first started doing social media, your Instagram and all that, did you have any idea it was going to turn into what it is now?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all, dude. Like, and I still don't have that many followers on like Instagram because I think a lot of people fall into the trap of like the follow for a follow bullshit.
Mhm.
And like,
Yeah.
this is not the same, but it has the same end result, right? Felipe of Cigar Side Chats. If you guys watching, don't watch Felipe's stuff. He's a great dude. He does great videos. Check him out. But he had a YouTube short that just took off, right?
The Arnold.
And so he's the Arnold one. Yep. And he got a ton of subscribers from that, right? But those subscribers from that never watch his stuff. Like he still gets decent views on his videos, but none of those subscribers from that short translate to actual interaction with his channel. And what he said he was getting into, I think in one of his first videos, he's like, I'm looking to start a community around this. I'm looking to, meet people that have the same passion for cigars out of this. And so if you have that take off like his did, that doesn't add to that community. That doesn't get interaction on the posts. Same with that follow for a follow bullshit. It's like, I'll follow you if you follow me. And then we all have 8,000 followers on Instagram, but nobody's looking at each other's shit. What's the point? It's a hollow number, right?
Yeah. Might as well be a bot, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it might as well be. Exactly. It might as well be a bot. And so I was surprised when people actually would read the Instagram post and like reply to it and comment on it and stuff.
Yep.
And so I never expected that to be happening because, like I said, it was just a personal journal for me. And then when Peter and Felipe and Roger were like poking at me to start with a YouTube, I'm like, hey, who's going to watch this shit? Because how many reviewers are there on YouTube? There's a shit ton. AZ, I like YouTube better because the same reason like Felipe started it. Like I like the interaction. I like when people comment and say, yeah, I've had that. I didn't like it. This is why. Or, hey, have you had this? Like, I like the actual interaction on YouTube, whereas Instagram, it's like scroll. Nobody's reading the shit.
Yeah.
They
like the picture you took.
Yeah.
I will sometimes go through Instagram and I will like, hey, that's a good cigar, or like I still try to chat with people on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But YouTube, you get a lot more comments.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I try and do that too on Instagram, but like you're one of the few, right, that actually does that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
How's
Makes
everybody
sense.
liking their cigars?
Good.
or reliable.
I'm
mine's
sad,
great.
I'm sad that I'm almost done with it.
I don't know
Donnie.
why I haven't had this in so long. It's probably been like 2 years. But it's
Old
great.
Donnie
guys-
C. Old
did you
Donnie
guys bring
C
a backup
never let me
cigar?
down.
So what?
Did you guys bring a backup cigar?
Yeah.
No,
Oh yeah.
I got a
Yeah,
pipe.
yeah,
I got a
man. Yeah.
pipe.
This is episode like 16 or 15.
15.
I was just wondering, because Frank was saying he said it's almost over. I was like, well, if you brought a backup one, sorry.
Oh, I did.
Hard to
No,
keep
trust me.
going.
I always bring it back up.
He's sorry because it's such a delicious cigar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, My backup is the Oliva Series V Milanio 2023
There you go. Old
Oh,
faithful.
yeah.
Figurino.
Figarino.
Yeah. This AZ reminded me of this with his comment. How do you guys rig the giveaways? Precision and skill, dude. But that brings me to another point about giveaways.
Here we go.
For my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, you guys saw how I did that, right? I didn't announce it. Because another thing that happens is if you do a giveaway and you announce it, you get a fuck ton of subs that are hollow subs. They're never going to watch your stuff. They're never going to comment. So I think that's the way I will do my giveaways just forever. Like put it at the end of a video of an unpopular cigar. Like today I released the review for the 1502. Thing's got like 150 views on it. Like nobody cares about that cigar. So that would be a perfect cigar to put. It's up to 212, but it's like 10 out of 10 ranking by views over a period of time, right? You know how your
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your most
analytics
recent
shows you that. Yeah. And so I think I'm going to do that moving forward. Just put it on some cigar that nobody's going to watch. Like nobody watches my Cavalier reviews, even though I think they're great, affordable cigar, right? Nobody's going to watch a 1502. You just, any number of those types of cigars, you could easily put an Easter egg at the end of a video and see if people reply to it.
I thought that was genius.
I did too. Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
like that.
I had guys dropping into my Instagram like, yo, put me on that giveaway. I'm like, no.
No, fuck you.
That's just as bad as dry beggars.
Yeah.
It's about the same, right? Yeah.
That's actually, yeah.
Yo, let me get in on that
Pretty much
getaway
exactly.
giveaway.
Like, no, that's not how it works. So, Mike, I had another question, and this question is not just for you. I want to do a round table and see what everybody thinks about this. But pairings with cigars, pairings while you're doing a review versus just a cigar having a good time. What do you like while reviewing, if anything, versus just a cigar? Is there something you prefer to pair with? Does it depend on the cigar? What's your thoughts on that? And we'll start with
Who we
Mike.
starting on?
Yeah, we'll start with you, Mike.
If I'm reviewing a cigar, I don't drink anything but water because I don't want to like taint it. There will often be times that like I'll be talking with somebody about a cigar that I'm like, oh, that was just a very average cigar. And they'll be like, oh, I enjoyed it a lot. It was great. And I was like, well, what were you drinking with it? And they're like, well, bourbon. And I'm like, okay, well, the bourbon did a lot of heavy lifting on that fucking cigar. Because in my opinion, if a cigar needs a pairing for it to be good, it's not a good cigar. You know, unless it was specifically designed to be paired with something and they say it, they're like, this is a cigar for drinking bourbon with, right? And otherwise it's worthless because there's cigars like that. But otherwise, if I'm just like having a cigar, you know, I like that the Sprecher root beer because it's nice, or some coffee, or like I'll mess around with different kinds of like tea. I've got the little electric kettle and stuff, and I've got all sorts of different kinds of black and green teas. Or like right now I'm just having milk tea with brown sugar, and it's super good with this Don Carlos.
Dude, you broke one of the Unbanded, I think, podcasts. Like you were talking about, oh, I have a milk tea, and everybody's like, what is that? Wasn't it a milk tea or Thai tea or something? And I was like, y'all have never heard of boba tea? Like, it's good.
Right? Yeah, it's
sweet.
super
It's
good.
good.
Thai
And Mike
tea
was like,
or
oh
like-
yeah, it's an Asian tea. And it's like, yeah, man, it's got condensed milk. What do you guys?
Yeah. Or like speaking of condensed milk, like Vietnamese coffee. It's like super strong
my
coffee that
God,
they
so
dump
good.
condensed milk into.
I
Shit's
love
delicious
Vietnamese coffee.
too.
Fuck,
It's so good. So much calories though, if you're looking at
Fuck
that.
it.
Yeah.
You know? Just eat less dumb shit if you're trying to balance it out.
Yeah, exactly. What about I guess Ugo's next?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Clockwise.
Yeah, let's do it. Hugo, what do you like to pair during a review, if anything, or just for a Migar? And what's your pairing?
During my reviews, I was doing morning and afternoon, but now I just cut it down to mornings because I have a whole fucking backlog. But so in the morning, coffee all the time if I'm doing a review, and then the afternoon I would just get some like club soda because I usually have club soda with my lunch. So whatever's left over, I will just take it out. But for like Migars, like right now, definitely some spirits. Yeah.
Gotcha. DC, what's your thoughts on pairings?
Same thing as Hugo. I can drink a coffee with a cigar anytime. Whiskey's for the show, usually having that. And then I do drink some mineral water every year, like now and then, just to, it tastes good. Like what Mike was saying, like if you're going to review it or you want to taste the cigar for what it is, like mineral water helps out. Like that's like the go-to for sure. Cause then you're tasting only the cigar. Everything else just enhances everything or does the work, like you say, like it does all that for you.
Yeah, makes sense. I'll go last. Frank, what's your
So,
thoughts?
so for me, depends. It really depends on what I'm going to smoke. If I know a cigar is going to be a little more peppery, I gear toward a little more of the sweeter stuff, like sweetened coffee with like vanilla cream or something like that. But usually I'm a huge beer drinker, so I'm always doing a beer. But I don't think it, unless it's certain beers, they really don't affect the flavor of a cigar. It I hardly ever do water, but it's usually like for me it's beer or a spirit or coffee if it's like a lighter cigar or a Cuban. Like I already had a Cuban already, but yeah, that really paired really well with the coffee.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Randall, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, if I was a perfect YouTuber and I was given a cigar review, it would always be a sparkling water. Preferentially, I really like the S. Pellegrino, which I have right here as like a chaser for later kind of thing. Because right now I'm doing a mixed drink, but yeah, it depends. Like going back to what Hugo said, it depends. Like if I'm doing a review in the morning and I have some coffee, that's my favorite. If I'm doing it more in the afternoon or in the evening, it might be actually hit the water or, I try not to look too much into like the cigar itself most of the time, especially if it's my first time smoking it. And I just grab what's in the fridge mostly. So it might be a beer, it might be a diet, something or another. It might be a water, it might be a coffee. But for the most part, it's coffee, water. And then here recently in the podcast, it's been like mixed drinks and beers. But that's gonna change soon because I got to get my summer body back. I've been slacking like hell, man.
Letting yourself go, Randall.
Oh yeah, man, you gotta let yourself go just so you can bring yourself back.
Yeah.
Get that delicious attention back on you.
I think what I've noticed most of you guys do in reviews, if you are pairing with something though, is you mention that you're having it with. I know I've specifically seen you say it, Randall. Like I'm having this with a coffee this morning, and at least then the person watching it can know, hey, if I'm not getting what Randall's getting out of this cigar, maybe I need to go pour myself a cup of coffee, and then I'll get the experience he had, or at least something similar to.
And then like Randall had an Opus, and he didn't have a good experience with it because he was pairing it with like a Guinness, I think, or like
Yeah, no, dude, yeah, a Guinness Extra Stout, and I was like, I don't know if it's the pairing. I was like, I'm not getting what everybody's fussing about this. It was a Fuente Opus X, and I changed the pairing at the second third or the final third or something, and I was like, I'm starting to get it. I changed it to an S. Pellegrino water. The Guinness just overpowered that, and I was just like, I don't get the hype, and it did get much better. And then I've had the Pussycat since. Shout out JD for that one, and I did not pair it with anything and except the water, and I was like, okay, this is much better. Could be the Vitola, but honestly, it was just so much better. So I'm very weary about that too. Like I make sure I mention the pairing because I don't want to mislead.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So I'll get into what I do with pairings or not pairings, but I just thought of something that I heard the other day watching a show, and I think it was Michael Herklotz that said this. I shouldn't have even said that because I'm not completely sure, but I think he had said that with pairing or like doing a review or something like that, that black coffee, just black coffee, no sugar, no cream, no nothing like that, just a black coffee is a palate cleanser, and that it's best to smoke a cigar, or it's good to smoke a cigar with a black coffee because that will cleanse your palate as you're going. What do you guys think about that? Have you heard that?
So like I know when you go like to those shops that sell like the colognes and the perfumes and stuff, they have a little cup of coffee beans
Yeah.
that you sniff to kind of cleanse everything out, so that you go to the next cologne or whatever, and it doesn't, the previous smell or scent doesn't affect the next one, right? So I think that he's right on that. Whoever said that, I don't know if it was whoever it was. That makes sense because, like I said, they do that with the at the shops like the Sephora and all that stuff. They have the little coffee things.
JD
Interesting.
touched on it. The reason being, and I think I actually heard Michael Prisdale, Master Your Ash, say this. The reason coffee works well, or like Michael Prisdale talk about having orange soda with it, is because it's acidic. And cigar smoke is basic. And so it balances out and like pH neutralizes basically your palate.
Mhm.
Which makes sense.
Science.
Right?
Science.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I wish I could remember exactly who it was. I'm thinking it was Michael Hurt. I think he was. Yeah. Anyways, it don't matter.
Could have been
I was just
both.
curious. Very interesting though. What I do with pairing, like if I'm gonna be reviewing or overviewing, whatever you want to call it, if I'm smoking a cigar and talking about it, I typically just have water, just because if I have a root beer, I'm afraid that's going to taint the flavors in there. But if I'm doing a cigar now, after I've had that cigar, reviewed it, whatever, if I enjoyed it and I'm coming back to it, I'll pair it. If I'm gonna pair it, I'll do it based on the cigar. So if it's like one that I'm getting a lot of chocolate notes on, I'll do like a coffee that's half coffee, half hot cocoa. I'll do a little mix there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And root beer is always a solid choice, but I'll try to sometimes, a lot of times I'm just water or black coffee. But I try to kind of tweak the coffee a little bit to, I got these like little sugary things you can add to it. And I had one, I forget what it was, but there was a cigar that had pretty heavy on what I got as a caramel note. And so I had some little caramel additives. So I made my black coffee, did a few squirts of the caramel, and it enhanced the thing. It was great. I was like, oh my gosh. But if I'm going to be doing a write up or talking about one though, I just like a lot of you guys said, I just typically, I don't do anything with it. Not that there's anything against that. I don't, whatever, but that's just what I do. So yeah, that's what I got.
Solid.
And I don't do coffee at night, or I'd never go to bed.
Really? Does it really
Yeah.
affect you that much?
You have a low tolerance?
I mean, if I drink coffee, like if I was drinking a coffee now, yeah, we'd get off here and I'd just be laying in bed just,
No shit, dude. I fucking
I could have an energy drink and I can go to sleep right after it.
Well, that's because you got like a quart of bourbon in it, though.
Well, yeah.
Like
An
an
upper and a downer, bro.
Energizer bunny, and then blow.
It's an upper and a downer. It balances.
Balances out.
I love it. Mike, what cigars are you looking? And this is a question for everybody too. What cigar are there any cigars coming out that you're looking forward to this year that haven't been released yet, or have been released and maybe you haven't smoked yet?
Not really, man. Like, as far as new releases, I've been so bummed out by so many new releases that they're not. They're sure they're kind of exciting, but like I temper my excitement with the fact that it's probably going to be underwhelming, right? As far as cigars that are already out that I'm excited about, I mean, within certain parameters, I'm excited about any cigar I haven't smoked yet, right? Because you never know. You could pick up some random bullshit from like a vape shop, and it could be the best cigar you've ever had, right?
Yep.
Like, so anything I haven't had yet, I'm excited to smoke.
Makes sense.
Which is such
Hugo,
a
is there
cheap and
anything?
easy answer?
Hey, it's honest. It's honest. It's a non-sponsored, honest answer, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hugo, is there anything coming out you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for it, or something you got in your humidor that you're like, hell yeah, I can't wait to smoke this? What do you got?
Yeah, now I kind of I don't hype myself up for like new releases, but I do want to try them. Like for example, like that 25 Basin. I was just going in it with a blank mind, and I ended up loving that cigar. I was like, damn, this cigar is really good. Other than that, I've heard already some opinions about like the Davidoff Winston Churchill 2025, which I really want to try.
Yeah.
And then the two Zodiacs that are out right now, just Davidoff and Plasencia.
Nice. DC, what do you got? What's on your list, if anything?
Nothing. No. I mean, for me, really nothing. I lean on you guys. So when you guys always drop something that you're smoking, something that just came out, somebody or more than one person are usually excited about one, then I'll obviously put it on my list on something to grab. But I got plenty in my humidor now that I'm looking towards. I still have the Unbanded cigar from October, number 4, that I haven't smoked yet. So I was gonna pull that one out today, but I'm gonna wait and see what that one's about. I don't even know which cigar it is anymore.
Don't go looking.
Maybe that's
There you
better.
go.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, don't look at it, smoke it, and then go check it out.
Yeah.
Frank, what about you? Got anything on your list?
So for me, I'm actually really anxious to try the Dubai, the 2020.
What
I
size
think-
do you have?
I'm gonna be honest. It's the I don't how many by totals did they come? I think it's only 2 of them.
There's 3. There's like a Robusto, there's like a Toro, and then there's like a fat Toro.
I think I have the Toro because it's a little bit bigger than the Robusto.
Okay,
Is that-
so the Sol de Amor.
That
Yeah.
one, that one. Full demo. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to try that one. I hadn't tried the Black Crown. The Black Crown. And I just picked that one up, and I'm anxious to try that one because
The Black Diamond.
that one, Black Diamond. Same shit. I don't know.
Okay, there's a JC that's black label too, and then there's the Black Diamonds.
So it's a black label. I don't even. Let me be honest. I bought them both. I have them both. I want to try them. I've had really good luck with JC Newman cigars, and the one that Hugo gave me was the Plasencia Year of the Dragon. That I'm probably gonna try. Hopefully, soon.
Oh damn!
Plasencia Year of the Dragon?
That would be 2024, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm probably
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the year of the snake now.
I know, but you're asking me about what cigars I'm looking forward to. I mean,
Yeah, okay. I didn't hear the question. Sorry.
I mean, I understand that there's new cigars out there, but I never really like. I'm one of those that like try to go for the newest cigars, except for that. No, actually, no, I always try to get like the Crown Heads one, like the
Los Calaveras.
Los Calaveras. That's about it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Randall, what's coming up that you're looking forward to smoke this year, if anything?
Oh, it was newly announced the EP Carrillo Endure. I think that one just looks really good. I like
With
a
the
lot
orange
of
label. The
Cameroon
orange
wrapper.
label.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the Cameroon wrapper. I really
Yeah.
like. I really dig Cameroon, and I follow their IG. Obviously, they posted some shit about it, and I was like, oh man, I want that now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it at some point. But I'm not, I'm not actively like searching the sites or anything right now.
Makes sense. I'm looking forward to the Knuckle Sandwich 57 because I really enjoyed the 56. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then I got a list of Byrons. I've been wanting to dive into Byron. And so I asked Sal for some recommendations. And so I've got a couple on the way. I forget what I ordered. I can't remember offhand, but I got a list of about 6 different ones, Byrons I'm going to check out. I got a couple on the way. And a couple of the Humidor, the 21st Distinguished. I can't say that. Got some of the 21st, which are I've had one and it was delicious. So I'm excited to get into check out some more Byron.
Oh yeah,
personally.
you can always stop. The shop up here has them. So if there's any that you haven't got yet,
nice.
Locals.
They carry most of them, right, Mike?
Yeah, most of them.
That's what's great about that shop. They have everything from budget sticks, and they got some house blends all the way up to the Byrons, Atabays, not Atabay Blacks, but
their house blend is well, they have like house blend sticks, but their house brand is Crux. The owner of Tobacco Grove is the owner of Crux, and Crux is made by Placencia. Every one I've had has been at least decent, but I haven't had that many of them because I'm a terrible customer. Well, they're like sandwiched, but it goes in that shop. It goes Placencia, Crux, Padron, Fuente, JC Newman, Liga on that one wall. So it's like you look at that wall, and what are you gonna reach for first, right?
Well, yeah.
Probably not the Crux.
I've had a few Crux, and they haven't been too bad. All the ones I haven't had one that I didn't like.
Yeah.
They're decent price range.
The only one I ever had was when I was with on the Unbanded was the Epicure Crux, the Maduro, or I don't know what it was.
Did you like it?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, when you go to that shop, I don't know about all of them, but like I know in the back room, all the chairs back there have Crux embroidered on the chairs and Crux everywhere. And when I first went there, that's before I didn't know that the owner, that Crux was his brand. And I was like, man, these guys really love Crux up here. Look at the chairs, the ashtrays.
I'll have one Crux.
Yeah. And I think it was
Like
Mike.
you're
It was like,
hypnotized.
yeah, I was like, whoa. But then it makes sense when you know that, oh, they are Crux. So
Yeah. I think they got new chairs at this point. Like Bonnie Cristo ended up paying it. But I think it's technically the original lounge was a Rocky Patel lounge because they've got like Rocky Patel on one of the walls. They've changed, I'm sure they sign it out for, hey, you want 3 years of branding on our shit?
yeah.
Buy us some chairs or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just changing the subject slightly. I just want to say what I really love about cigars also in general in the cigar community. It's like they're really good to be enjoyed. Alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, I mean, it's just like it's for everybody. Super random thought, but I was just thinking about that. Like,
I mean, it's a good thought.
Yeah.
Random thoughts are great.
This is what happens when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the podcast. You're like, oh shit, let me get back into this thing.
I love it. So Cubans, we got AZ here, so we got to talk Cubans real quick.
Oh yeah, AZ had a question about Cubans.
Oh,
he's had a lot of questions. He had a pretty good comment. He says, I like the interactivity with the comments. It'd be the same if they were turned off.
Yeah, that's DC.
Here we go. What do you guys think of Cuban new releases, and why do you hate them?
Wow.
Frank, why do you hate them?
I have no idea. I have no dog in this fight, bro. Like I have no idea.
I'll tell you.
I've tried.
Okay.
No, I'll tell you because I don't hate Cubans. I've only had one so far. I have a couple chilling in the humidor. I don't like the price because there's so many good New World. But I'm not like anti-Cuban like at all. but that's my thing. It's just the price. It's hard to justify once you hear the price tag per
Yep.
Cuban, depending on
Now-
what you get.
And what people will say right now in the comments is they're not any more expensive than New Worlds. And it's kind of a disingenuous argument, right? Because sure, you can get very cheap Cubans as far as down in like the $10 range, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're going to be like super tiny and like varying degrees of good or just kind of okay, right? Like the Cubans that everybody really enjoys, and not just because it says like Cohiba on it or something, right? Because there's people that just associate, well, it's a Cohiba, it's got to be good, right? But
Exactly. Yeah.
most of the cigars, the Cuban cigars that people really enjoy and really rave about, are like $20 to $40 a piece. And that's not an inexpensive cigar. Sure, you could very easily spend that much at a New World too. But
Yeah.
you're getting into the higher end of New Worlds when you're getting into the commonly smoked and talked about Cubans. And the availability of getting them. That's what's annoying to me. And I understand there's venues that you can, or vendors that you can get them through, and then you got to gamble, and then it's a whole rigmarole. Like, I've enjoyed basically every Cuban I've had, and I really like a lot of them. I got a couple of reviews coming out of ones that I just fucking loved, right? And those I consider maybe getting a box of, but they're a bitch to get. They're kind of expensive, you know?
This is the next question from AZ, so he feels relevant. You guys want to answer this one?
I mean, I think we've got a pretty diverse panel here, right?
Was he talking about? Is he talking about cigar diversity and inclusion, or
No, he's trying to get
Society.
us to talk about something
I
that
haven't
we
smoked
shouldn't
any
talk
white
about
ones.
on a cigar podcast.
Exactly. Thank you, Mike.
He's like, hey, put your foot in your mouth, guys, please, live.
Yeah.
Well, I have a thing about again going back to that releases. I don't keep up with Cuban releases. You know, I'm just dwelling into the, like Mike said, the just like the Target brands. You know, like your typical everyday Robustos or even Coronas or whatever. But you know, I compare it a lot to like selected tobacco. You know, you're gonna spend at least $35 on a selected tobacco cigar, right?
Yeah.
And for me, the cigars that I paid for, you know, around that price range for Cubans, they've been as enjoyable. So for me, it's not like I'm spending more money on this Cuban. For me, it's kind of like it's within my budget, so I don't mind, you know, paying for it. Plus, I've had the opportunity to be in places where I can buy them and, you know, secure a good amount, so I can, you know, have like a surplus. So that's just my thoughts on that.
That's a big thing, though. You travel, right? I mean, there's like, you go to Casa de los Banos, and you're like, well, not always, but you're like, I'm pretty confident these are legitimate.
Yeah,
And go,
for sure.
go back a few comments. Quit skipping over shit that we could talk about.
Which one?
Yeah,
Let's
Let
go.
me get
yeah,
to
we
the
will.
comments.
Shit, fuck.
Mike's
DC.
done this before.
Oh, DC, never mind.
Go back to the
Hey,
guess. I just want to
to the
touch on this
guess.
real quick.
This
Romeo
one?
and Julieta, Wide Churchill,
Oh.
his Wide Churchill comment.
Let's see.
Nick.
The Romeo and Julieta White Churchill is only $30. It's up at it's like a couple comments up.
That's not an inexpensive cigar. I really like
No.
that cigar. My review isn't out for it yet, but it's definitely going to be on my top 25 this year, unless something fucking wild comes out, right? But that's not a daily smoke for the majority of cigar smokers. Like, we have some friends in the Discord and in the cigar community that are a lot wealthier than 99% of the guys smoking cigars. And that's fantastic for them that could be a daily driver for them if they choose to be, right? But that's not my fucking budget. Like, I'm smoking a $12 cigar here. That's more reasonable, you know? I would love to be able to just smoke $30 cigars all the time, but I can't. So it's affordable depending on your budget, right? For a treat, sure, but I can get, when you're talking like $12, and I haven't smoked a whole ton of Cuban cigars, maybe like 40 different Cuban cigars, right? But the ones down in like the $12 range, I'd rather reach for a Don Carlos that I can think of.
Yep.
And
That's
you
a
can just
good
go to any
point.
store and get it.
And that's a good point. Like, enjoyment is also not just like the flavors you get, right? It's also the entire experience, right? You can enjoy one. It's almost like you expect more, especially the first time you buy one. It's like a $40 cigar. You almost expect, well, this has to almost blow me away to buy more, right? As opposed to like maybe a $18 cigar, it might get a different treatment because of the cost and how you can the affordability of it.
Yeah. And like if with the like is only $30, it's just I'm a 38-year-old carpenter with 3 kids that like got divorced like less than 10 years ago, like I'm not just rolling in the fucking extra cash. It'd be cool if I was. I would buy all the wild shit, right? But for my budget, there's plenty of more affordable New Worlds that you can just go get.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree. I know this year I am planning on getting. I want to get a few Cubans into the humidor, and it'll be in the fancy tray. Because AZ was kind enough to send me a sampler pack, and I was able to get somewhere. I was like, okay, because before it was like, okay, I can't just go to my B&M and grab a few singles to try these out, and then there's a couple places people can go, but it's like, well, I got to buy a whole box, and it's like but I've had a few now. I haven't had 40, but I've had a handful now, and I've kind of identified some that I like, and like, okay, I would like to have these in rotation. Cost wise though, just got to kind of time it right. But and with as far as like the new releases with Cubans, I don't even know what's going on. I just watch AZ's Instagram to see what's new. He's my he's my Cuban news source, which I love it because he posts all his stuff, and I love to see that.
Yeah.
I just wish, but then it's like, crap, I can't go up to Tobacco Grove or Perfect Ash and purchase one or two of these things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all good. That's nothing we can do about that.
I don't know if Sal's serious about this question, but I've had an experience with beetles before in the past.
You have?
Yeah, I think you saw it on my TikTok. Remember?
Oh yeah,
that barber pole.
Yeah.
So I had a barber pole that I think it's like a budget book, HC cigar or something like that. But it's the barber pole. I think I sent you guys the black label, the Maduro.
Yeah.
I had the 5-pack, and I saw a little hole in it, and I was like, no, man, you gotta be shitting me. So I fucking opened the pack, and I fucking rip it apart, and there's a live fucking beetle in there, bro. I took pictures of it. I think I still have the pictures. I'll share it on the Discords.
Wow. Oh shit.
But yeah, it was alive, dude. And I was like, you motherfucker. So I separated that cigar, or I had already fucking Frankensteined it, right? But I separated the other 4 cigars, and they were okay. But I don't know, if you don't notice it, you're probably gonna smoke through it, to answer Sal's question.
What cigar was that? I don't remember.
The HC barber pole.
It's a HC barber pole.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, isn't it true that like basically every tobacco there's a high chance that there's tobacco beetle larvae in all your cigars, and a lot of companies like freeze the cigars and shit to kill it. So like you're smoking the larvae no matter what. I don't know if
there's a chance that you are,
Clears the sinuses.
And it hatches once it reaches a certain temperature. That's why it's important to keep your cigars cool.
Yeah. So like I don't know if it would have any negative effects, right?
I mean, if you hear something crispy, it's
kind of gross.
Extra.
I heard a scream like a lobster one time. I don't know what that was.
Oh shit.
Start adding that to the flavor notes. Put that on the flavor wheel.
I'm getting beetle.
A little bit of beetle, a little bit of musty beetle,
and some battery acid.
Getting some dank.
Yeah. Something going on with this one.
I love it.
musky.
I love
That's
it.
Carpy's musky descriptions.
Yeah,
Musky,
it's got
yeah.
that Dominican musk that most aged Dominicans have.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
AZ's
Mike,
got a good point. If a cigar
Sorry.
is amazing, it's not a huge deal when it's expensive. You're like, all right, cool. You know, this is worth it. It becomes very relevant when it starts sucking. That's very true.
Yeah.
It's
Hell
it's
yeah.
like the
We've
wide
seen dinner pics.
it's like the wide Churchill. It's like I love that cigar, so I don't mind paying the price for it. But I also can't stock up with like multiple boxes because of the
But
price.
like Nick said, it's like $30 a pop, which for a treat, like he says a little bit further down here,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, and he's treating it like a treat.
Did y'all see Marvin's review on the Monte
The M?
Cristo M?
Yeah.
How much is that cigar? Is it expensive? He was saying that it was pricey.
I don't think he mentioned the price of it.
He didn't purposely, but he said it was a
Yeah.
pricey cigar. I don't know.
Probably Google it.
Mm.
Well,
It's at
we
least
got about
$20.
well, Mike's looking that up. We got about 5 minutes left. It usually takes us about that long to go through anything upcoming we all got. What's happening, this, that, and the other. So I say we start the round. Hugo, what do you got coming up?
Yes, sir. Today's Wednesday. Have my live morning show on Friday.
Which you all saw
Every Friday.
the intro for earlier on.
The what?
Which,
Oh, yeah.
which most of us saw the intro for earlier on.
No, what are you talking about?
Nothing?
Nobody remembers that, Frank. Be quiet.
I do.
And then my review on Saturday that I don't even know which one I'm dropping. I forgot. But yeah, I was gonna release the. By the way, do you guys know what the cigars on that the Saka sampler that was smoking with the unbanded? Okay, cool. Yeah, because I was supposed to do that with Steven this Friday again, but he's gonna be busy, so I'm gonna leave it for next Friday because he wants to come on.
Nice.
Pretty
Nice.
interesting. Pretty interesting.
DC, what do you got?
I got nothing right now. I've been busy with work
Perfect.
going crazy, and so I've just been holding off on that. But I mean, some stuff will come out. I think I told you guys I was supposed to do a partnership with a company that sent me something for their 1 year anniversary. That package got sent somewhere else. I just received it. So I'm gonna work on that video and still do that for them since they did send me something for free. So
Nice. Frank, what do you got in the wheelhouse?
Just I need to find time to like publish some of the reviews I have. Been going through some family issues. Sorry. Been going through some family issues, and I'm kind of that's taking a little more priority over posting the reviews. But hopefully, I could post something soon. I got a couple more Cubans coming, and
Nice.
I should be doing another Cuban review really soon, probably sometime this week. And that's about it.
Nice. Randall, I know you got something.
Nothing pre-recorded, but I'll record something probably Friday and be a review. I haven't decided exactly if I'm going to go the Cuban route or if I'm going to go something else. Depends on, I guess, my mood that day. But there'll be something probably either recorded and put out on Friday, or recorded on Friday, put out on Sunday, or whenever I get around to it. I had some family come in over the past long weekend, MLK weekend, and so I've been kind of busy. So I don't have anything in the need to upload pile yet. I just have to actually film something.
Gotcha.
AZ's asking if you guys like the Opus Society. I didn't buy that cigar.
I haven't had it yet.
I smoked one on Burning Benji's. It was all right. I thought it was pretty decent, but I got another one to actually review at some point.
But would you say it's $100 worth?
No, I haven't really had a cigar on Burning Benji's that I was like, yes, I would like to pay $100 for the purpose of just individual enjoyment.
You didn't like the Oma
I
Pepe?
just it was pretty good, but it wasn't great. Peter and Sal had a really bad time with it. Johnny loved it. I thought it was pretty all right. But I just want to go back on this one comment that Sal said, and I can just read it. He said, I heard that if you review cigars, people just send you a bunch of cigars for free. Can you verify if this is true? I have been blessed to have a lot of people send me cigars, and I don't know why they do it, and I can't express my gratitude enough. Sal's one of those guys that has sent me just cool shit. And AZ and Hugo, you sent me some, and people are great. And I always try and hit them back with something. And it's hard for some guys to figure out, well, what the fuck will this guy think is cool? Because I don't want to just send you a bunch of yard gars, you know? So like with Sal, I got to get weird with it. I'm like, I got to find like old retired shit or like age stuff. And like, I'm super grateful for people sending me cigars. I don't know why they do it. I appreciate it every time, man. It's awesome.
Do you get companies and stuff that want to send you free shit?
I turn that stuff down. I don't want to. Everybody knows when it's a paid review, right?
Yeah.
And nobody should take any paid review seriously. Like a lot of people like to joke that like I'm sponsored by Cavalier, right? I'm not. I like a decent amount of their cigars. But if you look at like my LE 2024 review, at the end of it, I was like, this one's really not for me. Try it out. I'm not saying it's a bad cigar. Pick one up, try it out, because the moment you start doing reviews on something and you can tell that it's a paid review, like if there is a universally disliked cigar because it's either not ready or just a bad profile, and then one guy comes out with a review for it that says it's amazing and his favorite cigar, either that dude has an ass palate and you shouldn't trust him, or that guy is easily bought and you shouldn't trust him.
Yeah.
So either he's got terrible taste or he's a whore. Like, you know? So no, I don't like taking stuff from companies.
Did somebody say Coronetta? Did you say Coronetta, Mike? Oh, sorry.
Coronetta. There's a couple of cigars where it's just like, no, that's not good. It's pretty universally disliked. So either there's something wrong with you or you're easily bought.
Yep.
You know? But
Makes sense.
That's my rant. Thank you for the cigars people send me, and no, I don't take them from companies because
I think, but you know, that happens even to like regular people. Like, you know, we've seen it all in the cut. People, you know, start talking and they send each other cigars. So not necessarily because you have a YouTube channel or people sending you stuff. You know? It's just part of the cigar community, you know.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So with that
No, we're
said,
not.
Mike,
We're not sponsored.
yeah.
My son.
Not this episode.
Hugo's gonna have like a big thing of Sanj behind him.
Yeah.
So Mike, what do you
Winter.
got coming out next? What do you got coming up? Your own stuff and unbanded stuff. What's up with that?
So, Unbanded, like I said, starting next month, we're partnering with Small Batch, and that'll be a great time. We have tomorrow night, it's just the boys. So that's me, Peter, the Cigar Collective, Cigar Side Chats, Working Man Cigars. Most recent additions to the show are Cigars, Jesus Christ, Cigar Hound Dog and Master Your Ash. So that's rad. Those guys are great additions to the show. And then next week, I think we have Marvin, the Bearded Cigar on. He's good shit. I love Marvin.
I love Marvin too.
Yeah, dude. And
I'll answer
the
that.
cameras. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll answer the question. It's absolutely fine. I'm no doctor, but it's fine to do that. If you grabbed a shorter smoke, it's fine to grab two at the same time.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're pretty safe with a Toro for this show.
Yeah. And then as far as my stuff coming out, tomorrow I've got my Placencia Year of the Snake review coming out.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll have, and then some other random review. Maybe I'll put out the Trinidad Reyes on Saturday. And then next week, I'm going to do, speaking of people who have sent me cigars, I had all the Murcielagos. The version 3, which is just the black and silver one. and then the Tony Lorenco sent me the Murcielago de Oro, and then I picked up the Chicaca. So I did Bat Week because I did Shark Week. So why not Bat
That's
Week,
cool.
even though it's not a
man,
Discovery
that's
Channel
cool.
thing. Other than that, I mean, I've got the K D'Orsay reviews, like all of the K D'Orsays, other than like the limiteds, because AZ sent me those. Thank you.
That's
I
tight.
got
love
like
cigar.
30 videos filmed. Yeah, dude, it's a great cigar. Like all
Fucking
four of
love
them are
that
good in their
cigar,
own way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
fun stuff.
Looking forward to that. For me, I'm changing my rating system, so I got to get some graphics done, but I'll have in the wheelhouse, I got a couple Roma Craft, a couple Dunbarton, and just before the show, I did the Lampert Ocean Breeze. So I just got to get some graphics done and then do some editing, but so maybe next week I'll have some stuff come out, but that's about it for me. But Mike, thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us here. I think this has been great. It's been good to talk about how you started with cigars and where you're at now and chop it up a little bit. So we really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Blast.
Thanks, Mikey.
For
All right.
sure. So that's all I got. Anybody else got any final comments? If not, we'll wrap it up.
See if
That's it.
Hugo can sign us out properly right now.
Shut up, Mr. Comment Guy. Hey, thanks.
Thank y'all for joining. All those
Yeah,
in the
thank you.
chat. Y'all are amazing. We love you. And yep. That's it.
Yeah,
All
AZ.